Hey everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. So yesterday I shared with you that newly elected Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor-Greene had been outed for her old social media posts and likes, which showed that she's not only a QAnon supporter, but she also supported the idea of assassinating Democratic politicians, and she believes that school shootings are contrived false flag operations meant to manufacture consent among the public to take away gun owners' rights. Well, now we have video evidence of just how low this woman is willing to stoop, because apparently before Greene became a congresswoman, she live trolled school shooting victims. Take a look and then I'll share more details.
David, why are you supporting the red flag laws? If Scott Peterson, the resource officer at Parkland, had done his job, then Nicholas Cruz wouldn't have killed anybody in your high school, or at least protected them. Why are you supporting red flag gun laws that attack our Second Amendment rights? And why are you using kids as a barrier? Do you not know how to defend your stance? Look, I'm an American citizen. I'm a gun owner. I have a concealed carry permit. I carry a gun for protection for myself, and you are using your lobby and the money behind it and the kids to try to take away my Second Amendment rights. You don't have anything to say for yourself? You can't defend your stance? How did you get over 30 appointments with senators? How'd you do that? How did you get major press coverage on this issue? And how did you get kids? Why do you use kids? Why kids? You know, if school zones were protected with security guards with guns, there would be no mass shootings at schools. Do you know that? The best way to stop a bad guy with a gun is with a good guy with a gun. But yet you're attacking our Second Amendment. And you have nothing to say. No words. So I'm walking. He's got nothing to say. Sad. He has nothing to say because there really isn't anything to say, you guys. He has nothing to say because he's paid to do this. He has the walkaway march. He's got the women's march, and they're funding all of this. Everytown Gun USA, they're funding all this stuff. Okay, that was David Hogue right there. David, we saw him inside the Senate building. He had 30 appointments where he ran around and got to talk to senators. I got to talk to none. He had media coverage all over the place. I had zero. Guess what? I'm a gun owner. I'm an American citizen, and I have nothing, but this guy with his George Soros funding and his major liberal funding has got everything. I want you to think about that. That's where we are. And he's a coward. He can't say one word because he can't defend his stand.
So that was David Hogg. I believe it's pronounced Hogg or Hogue. She was following him and harassing him. This is a teenager. This is a child. This is a teenager who survived the shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, where 14 children and 2 adults were murdered by a maniac with a gun. So this grown-ass woman is harassing a child and calling him a coward for not stopping to indulge her lunatic fantasies. I have to say, I had a lot of respect for David prior to seeing this, but I am just absolutely in awe of him after watching this video. The restraint that he showed was amazing. To listen to that bullshit, her yammering for 2 blocks and not take the bait, is an absolute testament to the fact that as a teenager, I believe he's like 17 or 18 years old in that video, he's far more mature than Greene, who is a 40-something-year-old frickin' woman. And to say he's paid to do this, these people are unreal. I honestly think that because they're such greedy SOBs who won't lift a finger unless it means more money in their pocket, they just believe that everyone else has the same motives. So what is the Republicans' response to this insanity and this abhorrent behavior? Her behavior is gross and dangerous. So what are they doing? Well, Republican House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy said he's going to have a talk with her. Wow. Yeah, I'm sure that's really going to help. Yeah, a stern talking to. That's all that's needed here. That's all that's needed to make this woman realize that maybe school shootings are real because we allow completely unfit people to have guns in this country who have a history of violence. And in just 4 years, Republicans lost the House, the Senate, and the presidency by allowing Trump and these alt-right QAnon loons to take over the party and make it into this conspiracy-riddled, grievance-controlled mob. By taking no substantive action against members like Greene and then refusing to convict Trump in the Senate for this upcoming impeachment trial and prevent him from holding office again in the future, they're going to prove that there is no red line. And it seems all but guaranteed that they're going to let Trump walk. After the vote that they took yesterday, saying that the impeachment trial shouldn't even take place, that it's not even constitutional in their eyes, when we know that there have been other people who were not in office at the time when they were impeached and convicted. There's a precedent for it. Would they even care or take any action if one of their own lawmakers murdered someone in cold blood? You have to question that. There was a time when I wouldn't have even questioned that. I would have said, of course they're not ghouls. They're not that vile, but they've now proven there is no bottom. There's nothing that's beyond the pale. They have literally abandoned all principles, all morals. And for what? When they won both chambers of Congress and the presidency, you can at least see the reasoning behind their egregious behavior. You at least understood the end game. They wanted power and they were able to take it. But now, what is the point? Joe Biden could not be more wrong when he said that Republicans would wake up. If and when Trump lost, they're going to wake up, they're going to snap out of it, they're going to realize that they've gone down the wrong road. No. Not only did they not realize it when they lost, Trump lost the White House, they lost control of the Senate. That didn't do it. They stuck with him through all of this voter fraud nonsense. And then just a few weeks ago, they were all locked down for hours because a group of terrorists stormed the Capitol building with flexi cuffs and weapons. They set up gallows outside with a noose hanging off of it. They murdered a police officer. They were actively looking for lawmakers and the vice president because they planned to take some people hostage and murder them. And that wasn't enough. That's not enough for them to wake the fuck up. And you might find this hard to believe, but there was a time when I voted across the aisle. I voted for a Republican president before. I voted for a Republican governor. I voted numerous times for the incumbent Republican congressman who ran my district and others running for local office. I used to believe that there wasn't much difference between Democrats and Republicans. And if I'm being perfectly honest, I was one of those people who paid absolutely no attention to politics and the government. I was part of the problem. I admit it. And in regard to establishment, corporate-owned politicians, I still believe there's little difference with the two parties, with the exception of some cultural issues and things like abortion. But when it comes to actually making people's lives better, taking financial action, and putting the interests of the people ahead of their donors, no, there's still no difference. The only people who are different as far as politicians goes are true progressives who actually want to help people, who take no corporate donor money and mean what they say. But based on the last 4 years and how Republicans have proven themselves to be truly craven, these power hungry lunatics, I without a doubt will never again in my life vote for another Republican for any position in government. They have absolutely proven that they cannot be trusted with power. They don't believe in the separation of powers, and with very rare exception, they have absolutely no principles. They've nailed the coffin shut with me, and I know many others who feel as I do. I have people in my family, I have friends who were lifelong registered Republicans until Trump came along. And over the past 4 years, they just grew more and more disgusted with the Republican Party, and they won't go back. It's not like, oh, they're not, they won't vote for another Trump-like candidate or Trump himself. They're not going to vote for any Republican because of the way that they've just completely rolled over and allowed insanity. They've allowed illegal activity and insanity and done nothing to stop it. All right, guys, as always, like, share, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.